Hello there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this series, I share my journey at Microverse as a Microverse student or as a Micronaut. This video is about week 18. This is the third week into the Ruby module, which is about OOP or Object-Oriented Programming. These are the activities and tasks we had this week. I'm gonna share my personal experience and what we learned so far. Enjoy! Object-oriented programming is just a way of writing code that groups actions and data into little building blocks called objects. Now we already got introduced into OOP and using classes in JavaScript, but this week we are even getting deeper into the OOP concept using the Ruby language. We learned about the four main principles in the object-oriented programming, which are encapsulation, which just means the fact that a class is a blueprint for making objects, and that it encapsulates different data and behaviors, aka properties and methods. Inheritance, which means building a new class on already existed class to make your code dry, DRY, don't repeat yourself. Polymorphism, which is the ability of objects of different classes to respond to the same method calls. And finally, the abstraction, which Ruby supports the abstraction through the use of abstract classes and modules. We also got introduced into different relations between classes, such as the association, aggregation, and composition. This is what you can see when we run this week's project, the OOP school library. It's just a simple or a basic UI, input and output. So we created different classes, one for person records, one for book records, and one for rentals records. We implemented different relations between these classes, and it looks like this UML diagram, credits to my amazing partner Shalini Nayan. Using these relations gave us the ability to perform different queries, such as number 6, which is where we can list all rentals for a given person ID. So as you can see, person records are in the person class, rental records are on the rentals class, but performing these relations between the different classes, we are allowed, or we are able to find the information that is common between these two classes. And finally, by the end of the week, we had to do the first mock interview, which was the technical one. I mentioned it last week when we needed to sign up in pramp.com, and this week we had to do the technical, when next week we will do the behavioral one. I think this activity is very crucial, and it puts you in that preparation stage for interviews. You get these questions that you did not, most of the time you did not know before, and there's someone else is looking at you and checking how your thinking process, etc. I think I will try to do it more and more myself to get used to this situation. But on the other side, the big disadvantage is that you are doing it with just peers like you, so you are not doing it with real interviewers who have experience, and they will give you real feedback. But at least you are in that situation, and I think there's an option, a paid option. You can do it with real interviewers, but it was good nonetheless. This week was much better than last week. I'm not having nightmares anymore about Ruby. I feel like I can work with Ruby easier, much easier. I'm not saying I'm very comfortable with Ruby yet. However, I think this week's tasks were instructed in a very easy to understand way, so it gives you that confidence, which is a really big thing. One feedback I have about this week is, I think, putting the two peer feedback tasks in 2 different days of the week would be much better than putting them on the last day of the week, day 5, because they were kind of long and we couldn't really finish them. We had to do them on Saturday, and I don't like doing tasks on Saturday. Now I had to do my video on Sunday. That's the reason why I'm late this week. Anyway, finally, don't forget the like, subscribe, and notifications bell. If you have any questions or feedback, add a comment. Connect with me on LinkedIn and Twitter. Have a beautiful day and happy coding.